The system is loaded. Hey? What sound? Cao Xingyu was awakened by an abrupt and unusually loud voice. He was drowsy and frowned. Host, congratulations on being selected as the only host of the system has been loaded, and a newbie package has been awarded to the host. Is the host open now? The entity is the King system. Cao Xingyu looked around for a week. The room was still his small single room, and there was no one else except him. And the voice seems to be coming from his mind. Host, do you want to open the novice gift pack now? The system's words with no emotion came again. After hearing this, Cao Xingyu quickly thought about it in his heart, and then understood, oh, it's the system. The kind of system in the novel. Wait. Cao Xingyu first tried to acquiesce in his mind. Okay. Sure enough, I got a reply from the system. Ha ha ha. Cao Xingyu suddenly became energetic, without sleep, and laughed excitedly. Then, he quickly got up from the bed, put on his pants, ignored his clothes, and opened the door shirtlessly and ran to the toilet. After washing his hands back and forth 3 times with shower gel, Cao Xingyu returned to the room. Okay, let's turn it on. Cao Xingyu rubbed his hands and looked expectant. Ding! The newbie package is opening. Successfully opened. Congratulations to the host for acquiring a store. The store level, normal. Ding! Since the host owns the first shop, the system is generating a personal panel for the host. The personal panel is generated successfully, and the host can view the personal panel at any time. After listening to this series of words from the system, Cao Xingyu's eyes were dull, and he quickly thought about it. This is the meaning of giving me a shop directly. Is it an internet cafe? Love an internet cafe. Hey, isn't there a family love internet cafe on the commercial street at the south gate of the community? Is it that one? No, that internet cafe has 200 or 300 machines, hundreds of square meters. If this is directly given to me, then I can directly make a fortune. Thinking of this, Cao Xingyu couldn't help swallowing. When he was in college, he spent many years in the internet cafe at the entrance of the school. He knew how easy it is to make money in internet cafes. Every day, he just opened the door and waited for others to send money to the door. Even though home computers have become popular and the business of internet cafes has declined, the fact that internet cafes can make money still cannot be changed. I didn't even think about it. I was still in last night. Today, did he send him directly to heaven again? Sure enough, the saying is right, there is no road to heaven. Check the personal panel. After Cao Xingyu calmed down a bit, he said in his mind. Name, Cao Xingyu age, 22 Explore the business district, Dream City experience, 0/100 points, current number of stores, 1, daily subsidy, number of stores *1000 current daily subsidies, accumulated subsidies in business districts and accumulated subsidies in stores. Looking at the line of eye-catching black letters on a transparent white panel that appeared in front of him, Cao Xingyu quickly caught the point, Dream City. That's right, this is the commercial street at the south gate of Xinlian Dream City. And Qingyuan Internet Cafe should be the one I used to visit often. Ha ha ha, this is an internet cafe with hundreds of square meters, 200 or 300 machines. Is that mine? Cao Xingyu jumped up excitedly. Then, Cao Xingyu saw the last line again. Daily subsidy, 20,000 plus 1,000, means I can get 21,000 cash every day. Yes, host. Feeling Cao Xingyu's question, the system answered affirmatively. Cow break. Cao Xingyu swallowed once again, which couldn't help but he was not excited. 21,000 a day, 200,000 in 10 days, and 30 days a month, it would be a total of 630,000. The surprises are really one after another. This is more powerful than an internet cafe's impact on him. Because this is cash. Cash. A lot of cash. In other words, if he doesn't do anything, he can earn more than 10,000 a day, hundreds of thousands a month, and millions a year. With this money, he hasn't done anything in his life, and he can live his life in style. Cao Xingyu seemed to see the good life beckoning to him, the excitement on his face was beyond words. When is the daily subsidy paid? After calming down again, Cao Xingyu couldn't wait to ask a key question. Obviously, his interest in this subsidy has surpassed the shops. The system will settle at 0 o'clock every day. Oh. Cao Xingyu replied. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so I have to wait more than 10 hours. After calming down again, Cao Xingyu's gaze returned to the words in the brackets on the personal panel that he had just ignored. The higher the level of the business district, the higher the subsidy amount. That is to say, as long as the level of the business district is increased, the daily subsidy of 20,000 business districts can be increased. The higher the industry level, the higher the corresponding subsidy base is. The same is true. Now I own one store, multiplied by the entertainment industry subsidy base of 1,000, so I get 1,000 rewards every day. That is to say, as long as the industry level if it increases, the base will increase, and this subsidy can be increased again. Of course, in addition to increasing the industry level, you can also increase the number of shops, which can also increase the daily subsidy. For example, if one store is 1,000, then 10 shops can be multiplied by the subsidy base to 10,000. Hey, doesn't this mean that I can accumulate the money for the daily subsidy every day, and when I have a certain amount of cash, I will continue to take over the transferred shops to increase the number of shops, then my shop subsidies are not can it be increased quickly? And the price of some low-quality shops is definitely not high. If you select those to purchase, won't the amount of subsidy rise straight? Cao Xingyu's eyes moved slightly, it seems that he has found a good way to increase the subsidy method. But Cao Xingyu was so complacent that he was awakened by the system's faint words within a few seconds. Before the host completes the novice task, the shops purchased by the host cannot be included in the system's calculations. Oh, that's it, then all right. Cao Xingyu curled his lips indifferently. What about the novice task? The relevant transfer agreement has been signed by the system in the name of the host, please rush to the gate as soon as possible. Oh. Cao Xingyu responded. Look at the meaning of this system, it should be that novice missions have not been triggered yet. Regarding this, the system has already been bound anyway, and there should be something sooner or later. Cao Xingyu is not in a hurry. Then he didn't delay any more and quickly got dressed and washed. Less than 10 minutes. After Cao Xingyu washed and dressed, he rushed to the door of the Qingyuan internet cafe he was very familiar with. You are Mr. Cao, aren't you? As soon as he wore his glasses, the middle-aged man who looked gentle greeted him. You reading www.yuyukanshu.com yet? Although Cao Xingyu was a little stunned to hear Mr. Cao's name for the first time, he still nodded calmly. It seems that the person in front of him should have been arranged by the system. Hello, Mr. Cao, these are the transfer procedures related to the store, please check. The middle-aged man respectfully handed over a document bag. Okay, thank you. Cao Xingyu thanked him and stretched out his hand to take the file bag. Even though he tried his best to control it, he still shook his hands slightly with excitement. Opening the file bag, there was a system endorsement. Cao Xingyu didn't entangle some details too much. He just glanced at the documents inside. It was a shop lease contract, internet cafe transfer agreement and other necessary procedures for store transfer. The transferee is indeed his name and ID number. These are enough. At this moment, the big rock in Cao Xingyu's heart finally fell. It seemed that all of this was real, although it was a bit dreamy. If it is convenient for Mr. Cao, I will take you in for a stroll and introduce to the current employees by the way. The middle-aged man said, of course, you are now the boss. If you want, you can change to a new group of employees. Let's go in first. CAO Xingyu recovered, put away the files, and while talking, took the lead and walked towards the internet cafe gate. At the same time, the system's voice once again sounded in CAO Xingyu's mind, ding. The host successfully accepted the first shop. Now the first task is opened. Raise the level of to high quality, reward 10 experience points for task completion, 10,000 cash, lucky draw chance 3, random item 1, random shop * 1. Experience, cash, lottery, random items, and finally, random shops. Tier. Hearing the generous rewards of the novice mission, CAO Xingyu stopped and couldn't help taking a breath. Experience is well understood. It should be possible to add experience to one's existing to improve the level of the corresponding industry. And CAO Xingyu, who already knows that he has a daily subsidy of 2W1, is not too surprised at the cash reward of 1W at the moment. Is a lottery, random items, this sounds very powerful, after all, the unknown is the most anticipated. Random shops, not to mention, if you give him a shop of the same size as, it will be a big gain. This task must be completed. At the moment after reading this reward, CAO Xingyu had a decision in his heart. In this unknowingly, CAO Xingyu's mentality has undergone a subtle change. From the very beginning, when he heard that the system has a daily subsidy of 21,000, what he first thought was that he was able to live a rich and self-willed life by relying solely on subsidies every day, plus internet cafes every day. It can also provide income, and his life will only be more moist and more unrestrained. After all, the system didn't force him to do anything, and humiliation is also a way of life. Obviously, this is one of the typical nouveau riche thoughts. But with in-depth understanding and thinking about the system, he doesn't want to mess around. To put it simply and directly, it is, 20,000, not enough. Have to add money. In other words, since this system exists, then his own future space should be unlimited. If you are tempted by this little benefit in front of you, your daily income of 20,000 yuan will be tempted. What is the difference between and salted fish? What's more, the world is so big. Now that he has such an opportunity, he really wants to stand higher and take a look. This is like God opening a window for you, allowing you to see the scenery outside, but would you like to limit yourself to this small piece of scenery? The windows are all opened for you. Would you not want to jump out of the window to see how big the world is and how wide the sky is? Human vision or ambition is like this, invisible and intangible, but it really exists in everyone's heart. What even CAO Xingyu himself didn't expect was that his vision at the moment had been invisibly improved. Of course, the improvement of vision was accompanied by the growth of ambition. Upgrade the store level 2. Then, CAO Xingyu's thoughts shifted from the reward to the task itself. If it weren't for this task, CAO Xingyu hadn't noticed that he had overlooked a fact before. When drawing the novice gift package, the system said was a normal store. Does the shop have a level? After pursing his lips, CAO Xingyu asked in his mind, System, how many levels does the shop have? The shops are divided into 5 levels, inferior, ordinary, average, high quality, and top-notch. The system replied. Oh, normal, that is the 2nd level, and high quality is the 4th level, that is to say, the task requirement is to increase by 2 levels. But it is not right, the scale of this internet cafe is already considered to be very large, such a shop is actually it's just a normal level. Is it possible that I want to continue to expand? Or is it the flow of people? Daily turnover? Net profit? CAO Xingyu asked the system tentatively. No, the level of the store is not determined based on the scale, area, number of people, daily business, and other indicators that the host said. The system denies, being an entity is opened by the owner of the king system. shop, should not pay attention to these unimportant things. Everyone knows that the core of the physical store is not just these items, these are not important. Well, for such a magical system, it seems to have said the past. Cao Xingyu complained in his heart. Then how do I improve this level? All the stores owned by the host are upgraded in the same way, that is, to improve the customer's experience of entering the store and the satisfaction after consumption. Experience? Satisfaction. After hearing this, Cao Xingyu looked surprised, a little unexpected that the upgrade would be such a requirement. How can this be improved? The system does not have a clear answer. Please find the host on your own. You can also experience the joy of operating the store while the host is exploring. Actually, I prefer the pleasure of collecting money. Cao Xingyu pouted. Then, since the system could not give an answer, Cao Xingyu also lost the interest in continuing to ask. It seems that I have to keep trying. Then, Cao Xingyu followed the middle-aged man to the bar of the internet cafe. During this process, Cao Xingyu still looked at the situation in the internet cafe from time to time, and was different from his previous mentality when he came to this internet cafe. At that time, he looked at the internet cafe just to find a well-located machine. Now he is the owner. To observe the business of internet cafes. Mr. Huang, you are here. As soon as Cao Xingyu and the middle-aged man came to the bar, they walked up to a middle-aged woman who looked about 30 years old. The woman had short hair to shoulders. She had a nice face and a slender figure. At first glance, she looked like a person. Very capable. Lu Ting, let me introduce this to you. This is Cao Xingyu. He is the real owner of this internet cafe. I only came forward to work for him. The man surnamed Huang nodded and said. Hey! The expression on Lu Ting's face was obviously stiff, and she looked at Cao Xingyu, who she hadn't paid special attention just now, with an incredible expression. He is the new boss? No way, so young. Mr. Cao, this is Lu Ting, the manager of internet cafes. I have more than 10 years of experience in internet cafes. I am currently in charge of the daily and operation of Qingyuan internet cafes. President Huang ignored Lu Ting and turned his head to introduce Cao Xingyu. Mr. Lu, hello. Cao Xingyu nodded to Lu Ting, and looked at Lu Ting's age as if he was not too old, right? He immediately asked curiously, do you have more than 10 years of experience in internet cafes? Yes, Mr. Cao, I didn't expect you to be so young and promising, and to own such a large-scale internet cafe at a young age. Lu Ting, who has been in the society for many years, quickly took away the shock in her heart. She first complimented, and then seemed to feel Cao Xingyu's doubts. She then explained, I started working when I was 16 and worked as a waiter in an internet cafe. Oh, I understand. Cao Xingyu nodded slightly. Was out of society at such a young age, and she was still a girl. It seems that there are not many people who are alive just like me yesterday. Cao Xingyu sighed in her heart. Then Mr. Cao, my task has been completed, there is nothing wrong, I will leave first. At this moment, Mr. Huang interrupted. Yet. Cao Xingyu nodded again. He naturally knew the meaning of the task in Mr. Huang's mouth. He didn't have any in-depth conversations about this system tool man. After the middle-aged man surnamed Huang left, Cao Xingyu took the lead. Manager Lu, can we find a place to sit and chat? Okay. Lu Ting pointed to the leisure waiting area not far away. Yu reading www.yuuganchu. There are a few sofas for guests to sit on. Shall we go over there? Yet. Cao Xingyu nodded. After a while, just sitting down, Lu Ting asked, Mr. Cao, I think you are familiar with it. You should have been to our internet cafe many times before, right? That's right. Now Cao Xingyu was a little surprised, but Lu Ting could not even say this. However, on second thought, the other party has been deeply involved in the internet cafe industry for many years, and it must be somewhat predictable to be able to reach the supervisor level from the bottom. Recognizing customers can be said to be a basic skill in the physical industry. If you can effectively distinguish between acquainted customers and raw customers, you can increase a certain amount of conversation space in the communication process and draw closer relations with each other more quickly. Sure enough, I remembered correctly. Lu Ting nodded first, and then earnestly praised, Mr. CAO, you don't seem to be very old. You can buy such a big internet cafe at such a young age. Great. There is a system, you can do it if you go. CAO Xingyu curled his lips, muttered in his heart, and said perfunctorily, it's okay. The acquisition of such a large-scale internet cafe at such a young age, and the fact that the performance is so calm and graceful, shows that the hard power of this new boss should be very strong, and it should be acquired because of the development of this internet cafe, Lu Ting thought secretly in her heart. After a pause, CAO Xingyu opened his mouth and said in other words, I just took over the internet cafe, and I didn't pay much attention to the situation of this internet cafe before. You can tell me about the basic situation and operating data of the internet cafe first. Hey! Rao has been in society for many years and has met Lu Ting, who has met all kinds of people. When she heard these words, she couldn't help but exclaimed. Seeing the bank text message, CAO Xingyu logged into the bank's app for the first time and checked his balance. I feel comfortable. When the number displayed on the balance was indeed 21,000, the corner of CAO Xingyu's mouth rose slightly. Ding! After the first settlement of the system is completed, turn on, consumption of 0/10,000 yuan on the day, 5 experience points rewarded for completion of the task. Are there any daily tasks? CAO Xingyu pursed his mouth, raising his eyebrows unexpectedly. A daily consumption of 10,000 is nothing compared to his current daily subsidy income of 20,000, not to mention that he has to spend money every day even without this task. If you can complete this task every day, you can get 5 points of experience every day, and the 100 points of experience required for your level can be upgraded in only 20 days. Obviously, this task is a very stable one. Source of experience. CAO Xingyu's heart has already set the nature of daily tasks. After a brief thought, CAO Xingyu did not spend much time on this daily task, but instead focused on other things. Since you have money, let's pay back Lu Yanan's money first. After a pause, CAO Xingyu took out his cell phone and dialed the other party's phone. The call was connected within a few seconds. The top of the immortal, proud of the world, there will be days if I have Lu Yanan. There was still an unusually loud voice on the other end of the phone. Hearing this, CAO Xingyu was silent for a few seconds. Didn't expect this guy to have a new line? But where did this new word come from? It sounds kind of domineering. What am I thinking? I can't be assimilated by this guy. Okay, how do you feel that Lu Yanan seems to be hopeless? Hey, what's the matter with Xiao Cao? Why are you not talking? Is it shocked by my domineering language by Lu Yanan? I feel like you are a fool. Cao Xingyu couldn't help but spit out in his heart, then took a deep breath, and said, I have money, and I am going to return 1,500 to you, do you transfer the payment treasure? Ha, that's it. Lu Yanan said in a calm tone, transfer my payment treasure. Okay. Cao Xingyu replied, by the way, I still recommend that you don't have a sophomore, or you will probably not have a girlfriend in your life. No, you probably won't even have friends. Oh, you don't understand. Lu Yanan sneered. Ha! Cao Xingyu couldn't help but sneered like Lu Yanan, and then hung up the phone directly. Zenyuan community. What the is this kid? I borrowed the money for a day and then paid it back? How about playing with me? Lu Yanan looked at the payment treasure to receive 1,500, but didn't understand. Forget it, pay it back, no matter that guy, if he has no money then he will naturally look for me again. Hey, why is the daily task still 0/10,000? Just after turning 1,500, CAO Xingyu asked the system, looking at the amount on the daily task unchanged. The host is repaying the account, which cannot be considered as normal consumption, so it cannot be counted. The system responded. Oh, that's all right. CAO Xingyu didn't care too much. After a pause, CAO Xingyu asked again in his mind, then what about I recruiting staff and increasing bonuses for internet cafes today? The normal monthly operating expenses of the store that belongs to the host cannot be calculated into the host's personal daily consumption. Well, whatever. Hearing that, CAO Xingyu was too lazy to care about so much, only 10,000 yuan, the big deal is to buy it tomorrow. Go shopping tomorrow and spend a lot of money. Tonight, CAO Xingyu did not have insomnia anymore, but fell asleep early. Those previous pressures have disappeared long ago, and he finally got a good night's sleep tonight. The next day, CAO Xingyu strolled around the street all morning, bought himself some clothes, a watch of several thousand yuan and a latest Huawei mobile phone, and by the way, he had a 5-star meal by himself at noon. Only then successfully completed the daily tasks of today's consumption of 1W. For the first time to spend lavishly and unscrupulously, CAO Xingyu's inner joy is self-evident, wonderful. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing today's daily tasks and rewards 5 experience points. The host can independently choose the industry to add points. After listening to the system prompt, CAO Xingyu immediately called out the personal panel, and he saw the available experience points on the personal panel, 5. And there is a plus sign behind the experience of. I can choose now. CAO Xingyu pursed his lips, thinking whether to add experience points now, but in the end he gave up this plan. After all, even if these 5 points of experience are added, unable to upgrade, it is far from the upgrade target of 100 points. Let it go first, in case you can get some interest. CAO Xingyu thought for self-entertainment. Then, after taking the big and small bags back to his residence, CAO Xingyu went to the Qingyuan Internet Cafe again. Mr. CAO. CAO Xingyu, who had just stepped into the Internet Cafe, was noticed by the sharpied Lu Ting, and the other party directly greeted him. Yet, CAO Xingyu nodded for a moment, but the eyes on his face did not look at the other party, but scanned the situation in the Internet Cafe. Compared with yesterday, there are obviously 2 more waiters walking around in the Internet Cafe today, and there should be new employees among them. The floors in the Internet cafes were also very tidy. A cleaner walked back and forth in the corridor from time to time. When he noticed that there was on the ground, he went forward to clean it. Very good, it seems that Lu Ting has fulfilled his request very well. Withdrawing his gaze, CAO Xingyu asked Lu Ting, how is it? Have you collected any opinions from the customer? This. Lu Ting replied with an awkward look, from yesterday to today, our webmaster has asked a lot of people, but no one has made any comments. The guests leave after activating the membership card. I didn't take it seriously at all. Isn't there even one? CAO Xingyu was a little surprised at first, but he was relieved after another thought. It seems that he took it for granted yesterday. If he is the one who comes to the internet, and the network administrator asks him if he has any opinions on the internet cafe, he will only think that the internet cafe is deliberately approaching the guests. After all, what is the use of real comments? Will you listen to me? What benefits can I get when I give advice? What's more, the model of internet cafes is the same. So he probably won't want to talk to him. It's better to find a machine to go online sooner than it is a waste of time. This is no way to go on, I have to think of a way to encourage everyone to comment, otherwise my novice mission will be cold. It is impossible to try a little bit by yourself, it is too slow, far from the teamwork. Ah, I don't want to delay the task for novices for too long. After Cao Xingyu pursed his mouth and thought for a while, a bright light flashed in his mind and asked Lu Ting, do we have any membership groups in our internet cafes? Yes, there is a WeChat group. Lu Ting nodded, and said, but not many people joined. We usually post activity messages when we engage in activities in internet cafes, so the group is not very active. It's okay. Cao Xingyu waved his hand disapprovingly, and said, you pull me in, and then you immediately organize people to promote this group, and get the number of people in the group up as soon as possible. When I look back, I personally ask everyone in the group the opinion of the internet cafe. Okay, the publicity is completely okay, but I am worried that those people will not be too interested. Because we have also publicized many times before, but the results are more effective. Lu Ting said. Ha, Cao Xingyu sneered indifferently, then if we tell them, the group will send out thousands of yuan in cash red envelopes tonight. Mr. Cao, you mean? Lu Ting stared at Cao Xingyu in disbelief. It means literally. Cao Xingyu waved his hand, you directly rename our WeChat group to Qingyuan Internet Cafe Welfare Group. In addition, everyone who joins the group must be a member of our internet cafe, and they must have real consumption experience here. Yes, this is up to you to check. UU Reading www.yuyugonshu.com has reviewed the identity of each person who added the group. I don't want any bad guys to enter, because I want to get opinions with real experience from them. Oh, good. Lu Ting nodded, trying to digest what Cao Xingyu said. In addition, the first wave of welfare is scheduled for 10 o'clock tonight. Cao Xingyu waved his hand, you should implement it first. After that, Cao Xingyu walked towards the gaming area without looking back. What's the picture? Looking at the back of Cao Xingyu's departure, Lu Ting really couldn't understand her new boss now. Yesterday's operation Lu Ting was still reluctant to accept it. After all, adding service staff can really improve the overall service of the internet cafe, and the response speed of the service will also become faster, but Lu Ting feels that the cost is a little bit high. If it was her, she couldn't bear to be so invested, and she would try to achieve this goal with a smaller price. And this has increased the monthly cost of internet cafes by more than 10,000 in less than a day. At the moment, in order to collect some so-called opinions, we will invest funds to attract members to join the group. And look at the meaning of changing the name of the group to Welfare Group, it seems that it will be paid later. There will be a lot of benefits, this. No matter how Lu Ting looks at it, it feels unnecessary. What can I do to collect opinions? Is it possible to solve them one by one? Obviously impossible. Is ridiculous. Obviously, in the eyes of Lu Ting, who has been deeply involved in the internet cafe industry for more than 10 years, this is a very nonsense thing, and it has no meaning at all. Like other internet cafe owners, it's not good to reduce the cost and increase the monthly net profit. It seems that young people are young people after all. They are obviously fooling around. Why did I come to the conclusion that this new boss is not bad yesterday? It's a mistake. Finally, Lu Ting sighed. Cao Xingyu, who walked to the esports area and turned on a machine to go online, didn't know Lu Ting's thoughts. Of course, even if he knew it, as long as Lu Ting did what he asked, he wouldn't care too much, because no one would know his current real situation. In Cao Xingyu's view, his goal is to upgrade the level of the internet cafe as soon as possible, complete the novice tasks, and get those rich rewards. So, what does it mean to spend a small amount of money in this process? Choose between the generous rewards of the task and the short-term spending of some cash. Even a pig knows how to choose. On the other hand, although Lu Ting is very opposed to Cao Xingyu's actions, as an employee, she knows what she should do. That is to insist on doing her own duty. This is also one of the ways she can go from being a small waiter to where she is today. Little secret. I saw Lu Ting first summoned all the waiters, first dragged them all into the member group of internet cafes, and then instructed them to immediately promote the WeChat group, and then she took the lead to give them one by one. Promoted by internet guests. What? Internet cafe welfare group? You still found the golden red envelope? The young man, who seemed to be about 25 and 66, listened to Lu Ting's introduction while playing games. The young man named Zhang Wentao, 26 years old this year, is an old customer of Qingyuan Internet Cafe. Because his company recently laid off employees and compensated him for a sum of money, he took this opportunity to simply let himself go. After a long vacation, I have a chance to play first, so I have come to internet cafes a lot more recently than before. Yes, and our boss will give out thousands of red envelopes on time at 10 o'clock this evening. As long as you join the group, everyone can grab it. Lu Ting affirmed with a smile. No way, send thousands of dollars? Does your boss have a lot of money? Why do you find the golden red envelopes in a good way? Stop teasing, it's more outrageous than saying I can take 5 kills. Zhang Wentao sneered in disbelief. It's really giving out red envelopes. Lu Ting seemed to have expected the other party to react this way, and didn't mind at all. She smiled and said, and anyway, you just add a WeChat group, and you don't have to pay anything. If our boss doesn't give out red envelopes, you can also withdraw directly. It will benefit you without any harm. Do you think I'm right? Hearing this, Zhang Wentao agrees with this sentence. It is okay to add a group to see the excitement. When the time comes, if there is no red envelope, it will be a big deal. Then Zhang Wentao took out his mobile phone and scanned the code to join the WeChat group. A similar scene is constantly being performed in various internet cafes. With the passage of time, the number of people in the Qingyuan Internet Cafe group, which originally had only more than 30 people, soon exceeded 100, and with the passage of time, the number of people increased. New members of the group were discussing in the group, confirming whether there was a good thing to send thousands of red envelopes at night, which made the originally cold and quiet group suddenly lively. 9:50 in the evening. Cao Xingyu lay down on the bed after taking a shower and turned on the phone. Coincidentally, at this time, a text message popped up on the phone screen. Your account 8189 will be credited with the transfer income at midnight on October 10, CNY 3000.00. What's going on? When he saw this text message, Cao Xingyu raised his brows and was a little surprised. It's not yet the system settlement time, and the amount is wrong. Just as Cao Xingyu was surprised, his cell phone rang again. Mom, well, I get it. Looking at the caller ID on the phone screen, Cao Xingyu understood what was going on almost without thinking, and at the same time he couldn't help but warm up. Hey, Mom! After pressing the answer, Cao Xingyu shouted with a smile. Son, I just transferred 3,000 to your bank card. Have you received it? Deng Na's voice came from the other end of the phone. At the end of the talk, her voice became smaller and smaller, as if she was afraid of being heard by others. It really is like this. Cao Xingyu pursed his lips, and a warm current crossed his heart again, saying, Mom, I have received the money. Okay, it's fine if I receive it. Deng Na responded, also, son, don't blame your dad. He just wants to force you appropriately and give you a little pressure. In fact, he still can't bear it in his heart. You have to understand your dad's good intentions. He is a person, that is, his mouth is hard and soft. Mom, don't worry about this. I know Dad's intentions, and I don't mean to blame him. After all, I am not too young. Sometimes I really have to face some problems independently, and I can't think about it every time. I'm relying on your help. Well, In short, he is also for your own good, but the way is a bit too extreme. I don't agree. How can I force my son to borrow money? Son, you will secretly give this money to you as your mother, you go first if you pay the rent or something, don't tell your dad that I gave you money, you know what I mean. Mom, actually. Cao Xingyu pursed his lips, and stopped talking. Seeing these actions of his mother, Cao Xingyu wanted to tell the other party about the system at this moment. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com told his mother that he doesn't have to worry about money at all now, but he just switched to another thought. Thinking, the appearance of the system is a bit too incredible, it can be difficult to explain when it is said, and it is likely to cause some unnecessary troubles. In that case, I might as well keep this secret in my heart forever. Actually what? Deng Na asked anxiously when her son stopped halfway through her words. Oh, in fact, I have already found a job, and I will definitely not worry you anymore. Cao Xingyu recovered, and finally chose to use a white lie. Hey! Deng Na's surprised voice came, did you find a job? Didn't you say that you didn't find it yesterday? How about it, what kind of job is it? How much is it for a month? This job is not bad, the scale of the company is quite large, it is a company with more than 200 people, the job is the software development I learned, the leadership also paid attention to me, and opened it for 6,000 a month. Cao Xingyu said with a smile, I also said that as long as I perform well, I will increase my salary at least twice a year. Good, 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 I will tell your dad the good news. Deng Na said with joy. After speaking, the phone was hung up by Deng Na. Hee. Listening to the blind tone from the mobile phone and feeling the joy of his mother from the heart, Cao Xingyu couldn't help but feel silly. Maybe, this is family affection. It won't be easy to explain why it's difficult to make money for my family now. I will find a reason to make money for my family when it's suitable. I won't have to worry about the two elders anymore. Afterwards, Cao Xingyu put the matter down for the time being, opened the mobile phone WeChat, and glanced at the Qingyuan Internet Cafe Welfare Group. I didn't expect it to be quite lively. At this moment, the news of the Love Internet Cafe Welfare Group shows 99+. Maybe this is the charm of money. Cao Xingyu saw that the number of members in the group was only about 30+ when he first joined the group during the day. After today, it has reached 230 and in less than 10 hours, and he couldn't bear it. She sighed. Then, Cao Xingyu briefly flipped through the group chat records, and as he expected, most of the content was around the cash red envelope at 10 o'clock tonight. However, many people are curious about why internet cafes are suddenly so generous. After a pause, Cao Xingyu glanced at the time and saw that it was almost 10 o'clock. He quickly typed out a line and sent it out, how about you guys, are you ready? The red envelope was sent on time at 10 o'clock, hand fast if you have a hand, you don't. As soon as the word came out, Lu Ting, who had been staring at his mobile phone in the Qingyuan Internet Cafe, immediately followed up, at everyone, our boss has appeared. This welfare activity will begin immediately. Please be prepared. After typing this line, Lu Ting did not forget to yell at the Internet Cafe, the big red envelope of our Internet Cafe welfare group will be sent out soon, everyone is ready to grab it. Get it? This roar instantly caused a strange scene in the Internet Cafe, and the people who were operating the mouse and keyboard suddenly took out their phones one by one. Among them, Zhang Wentao, who was sitting on the 38th machine, was no exception, and quickly turned on his mobile phone. I really want to send a big red envelope. Zhang Wentao was a little bit disbelieved, and at the same time, he couldn't understand what tricks this internet cafe was doing. He was the first time he heard that an internet cafe found golden red envelopes for customers, and said it is a red envelope of thousands of dollars. If something goes wrong, there must be a demon. See what tricks you are playing. When the time comes, you will not send a red envelope or send a few red envelopes to fool us. How will you end up when I see it? Obviously, Zhang Wentao still has it in his heart. If you don't believe it, it doesn't prevent him from wanting to watch the excitement. Anyway, it won't take him much time, and he is also very curious about what will happen next. Within a few seconds, it was 10 o'clock. I wiped it, but I didn't get it. A red envelope popped out of the group chat on the phone screen, but when Zhang Wentao clicked it, he didn't grab it. These people's hand speeds are too exaggerated. How long does it take to be single? Zhang Wentao, who had been staring at his mobile phone, couldn't help but despise at first, and then curiously clicked on the red envelope, wanting to see the end. How much is the red envelope? If it is only a few dollars, then he doesn't care. Swu grabbed 83 yuan, Long Ddd grabbed 29 yuan, and Let the Wind grab 51 yuan. I rely on it, Zhang Wentao couldn't help exclaiming when he saw these amounts. This is a 5-person package, 200 yuan. Not only Zhang Wentao, but also other people's exclamations in the internet cafe. I didn't expect to send a red envelope. Isn't it? And it's 200 yuan per shot, the boss is magnificent. Ha ha ha, I grabbed 83 yuan. That's great, I have paid back for my internet expenses these days. Waiter, bring me a bottle of Coke. At this time, I don't know who yelled excitedly, I have sent a red envelope again, ha ha ha, this time I grabbed 55 yuan. As soon as he heard that the red envelope was still being issued, Zhang Wentao reacted immediately and quickly dropped the red envelope details. But when he quit, he found that it was still too late, and the red envelope was robbed. Fuck it! Zhang Wentao couldn't help but cursed. After that, Zhang Wentao didn't click on the red envelope to check the details, but stared at the screen for fear that he would miss the red envelope again. Wipe, I didn't get it. I didn't grab it again. I still haven't grabbed it. 3 more red envelopes appeared in the group behind, but Zhang Wentao still hadn't grabbed one. He frowned with an unhappy expression, feeling that he had missed 100 million. In addition to him, there was also a complaint in the internet cafe. Obviously, the majority of people who did not grab the red envelope. Do you still post it? Zhang Wentao thought for a while and typed a line in the group. Do you still post it? +1. After a while, the person who issued the red envelope typed a line, well, there are 5 packages in total, 1000 yuan. Today's welfare hotspot has been completed. Congratulations to all the friends who grabbed the red envelope. Of course, the one who did not grab the red envelope. Don't be discouraged, friends, this is just an appetizer, and then we will start to get into today's topic. I paid 1000 yuan, is it just a hot spot? Zhang Wentao suddenly became energetic. Listening to this, the following benefits seem to be better. And the enthusiasm of other people in the group has been ignited by the rain of red envelopes just now, and they typed, come on, boss, all other benefits, hit me. Hurry up, my right hand is already hungry and thirsty. Boss, or you don't hide it, the benefits will be sent out all at once. The speech speed in the group was instantly full. Xinlian Dream City, 19 Building 1801. At this moment, Cao Xingyu has got up from the bed and came to the table. A piece of white paper and a pen were placed on the table, which he prepared to wait for the record. Seeing the enthusiasm in the group being ignited by himself, he smiled faintly, but for him, the next step is the key. After a pause, Cao Xingyu typed out, our internet cafes are going to improve the customer's experience of entering the store and their satisfaction after consumption. Do you have any opinions on the internet cafes? Of course, it's not free to ask everyone to comment. My opinion was accepted, that is, a 200 yuan cash red envelope was immediately rewarded. The more opinions you submit, the more cash you will receive. There is no cap. Wow! As soon as the sentence appeared in the group, there was an uproar in the whole group, and the pan was fried instantly. The scrolling speed of group messages was pulled to the top in an instant. That's it? I thought I would continue to send red envelopes. Seriously? As long as an opinion is adopted, you can get 200 cash red envelopes? Is it still capped? In other words, what is the experience of entering the store and the satisfaction after consumption, and will internet cafes care about these things? Isn't it just going to the internet, just have a machine? This red envelope sounds pretty fragrant, but the problem is a bit strange. How do I feel that the boss is joking with us? While some people are still in surprise, complaints, and doubts, some smart people have begun to type out an opinion. At boss, I want to say that there is no paper in the toilets of internet cafes. You have to bring them or go to the toilet every time you go to the toilet. Yes, once I had a stomachache and hurriedly went to the toilet and forgot to buy paper. I was in a dilemma in the toilet and was embarrassed to die. I want to say, can internet cafes and toilets provide toilet paper? Is this a suggestion? The name of the group who typed this line was Wen Tao, and it was Jean Wen Tao who hadn't even grabbed a red envelope just now. And Cao Xingyu, who was sitting at the table constantly flipping through the information on his mobile phone, quickly saw this information. Yu read www.yuyuganshu.com and saw him nodding and muttering, it seems that the toilets of internet cafes do not have toilet paper. Without the paper, this guest must not die in a hurry? What good experience is it? Unexpectedly, I received a very valuable opinion from the very beginning. Cao Xingyu was immediately satisfied with the decision he made today to pull the group. Then he typed in the group, your opinion mentioned very good. I will take your opinion on behalf of our internet cafe. You can add my WeChat. I will send you 200 red envelopes in private. As soon as came out, the group was in an uproar again. What? Someone's suggestion was adopted so soon. What's your opinion? Puff. It turned out to be recommended to provide toilet paper in the toilet of the internet cafe. Is this okay? This opinion is cowhide. What's more cowhide is that the boss actually accepted it seriously. Ha ha ha, the brothers who made this opinion are really talented. There is no paper in the toilets of internet cafes, right? At the moment, Jean Wen Tao, who was sitting in the internet cafe, saw the owner of the internet cafe and he was also shocked. I didn't expect that a suggestion I made with a joking mentality was actually adopted. The 200 yuan red envelope. Thinking of this, Jean Wen Tao quickly clicked to add each other's friends. And the other party's response was also very quick, the friend application was quickly approved, and accompanied by a striking red envelope. Click the red envelope to open. 200 yuan is so credited. It's too easy to get the money. Jean Wen Tao people are stupid. Cao Xingyu cut a picture after sending a red envelope to Jean Wen Tao and threw the screenshot to the Qing Yuan Internet Cafe group. As soon as this picture of red envelopes came out, it caused an exclaim in an instant, damn, did you really send a private package? No way, that can also be called an opinion? I can't believe it. The boss is awesome, 200 is sent as soon as you say it, so awesome. I took away 200 in one sentence, when is it so easy to make money? Everyone, don't grind these useless ones, think about your opinions quickly, as long as they are adopted, you will be able to receive 200 yuan immediately. Yes, think about it quickly, everyone pay attention to review the questions, the focus is on experience and satisfaction. Hey, why do I suddenly have a sense of seeing when doing the questions? There are enthusiastic group friends in the group jokes Tao. Cao Xingyu looked at the reaction in the group with a gratified smile on his face. What he just sent out the picture was actually this effect. Only by letting everyone believe that the benefits he said exist, can these people take it seriously. Think about the question he received and how to inspire the enthusiasm of tool people. Then Cao Xingyu watched the information in the group increase one by one. He was not in a hurry, and patiently flipped down. Well, this opinion seems to be good. When he saw a line of characters, Cao Xingyu stopped sliding his finger. This line was typed out by a person named Little Sheep. Boss, I also have an opinion. Why is the 500 ml Coca-Cola in the corner of the commercial street only sells for 3 yuan, and your internet cafes but it costs 3.5 yuan? And the Coca-Cola in those mass-market snack shops only costs 2.5 yuan. My opinion is that the price of this drink cannot be so high, and I don't want to be the same as mass-market snack shops, but at least isn't it similar to a normal small shop? Although the prices of beverages sold in some similar entertainment establishments such as internet cafes will be slightly higher, this has also formed a consensus among many people and most people are used to it, but I am afraid that some people are used to returning. Get used to it, but I may still feel a little uncomfortable in my heart. Wouldn't this affect the sense of experience and satisfaction? Thinking of this, Cao Xingyu immediately typed out a line, your opinion is also good. It has been adopted. In the future, the beverages and foods of our internet cafes will be sold in a uniform manner. The price of the snack shop is not to make money, but to make you happy. You add the group owner Lu Ting, you are responsible for sending the reward first, and you will be reimbursed by me later. The word appeared in the group and once again ignited everyone's enthusiasm. What? It means that Coke will only cost 2.5 yuan in the future. The boss is so atmospheric. Look at what the boss said, not to make money, just to make you happy. Admire. Conscience boss. Don't talk about anything else. Originally I only drink 1 bottle of Coke every day, starting today, I will drink 2 bottles. Brother upstairs, are you serious about drinking 2 bottles every day? Is your body able to eat it? After typing the sentence just now, Cao Xingyu did not respond to the group. In order to avoid missing some opinions from group friends, this time he did not choose to send the red envelope by himself, but continued to slowly flip through the chat history. A group of friends named Dong Mei, boss, can the internet price of your internet cafe be cheaper? I think if the price is cheaper, then I will definitely be very satisfied. Is it cheaper? Seeing this opinion, Cao Xingyu pursed his lips and typed out a line, your opinion reminds me, I also count your opinion passed, you go add a group owner. In addition, I dare not say anything else, but I will guarantee that the internet price of this internet cafe will be the lowest among all the surrounding internet cafes. In short, I still say that, as long as everyone is happy and satisfied, I will make less money anything. Cao Xingyu adopted this opinion, and instantly caused a small sensation in the group, isn't it? You can also adopt the opinion that the internet is cheap. Look at this opinion, I really didn't expect that everyone in the group is really talented. Actually, I just thought about this, but I felt that it would definitely not be adopted, so I didn't say it. I never expected the boss to accept this. What a pity. I missed $200. My God, even this opinion can be accepted, the boss is really a conscientious boss. Look at what the boss said, in order to make everyone happy and satisfied, I would rather make less money. Thumbs hehe, who can't type it, I just don't know if it will be implemented. There are also group of friends who are not optimistic. Afterwards, as he kept watching the chat logs, Cao Xingyu got a few good comments from them, and took a pen to record them on the paper. At this moment, Cao Xingyu paid attention to a line of characters, which was typed out as little cute, boss, since everyone has comments, I will also mention one. I want to say that the environment in the internet cafe is a bit smoky. A good smoking ban is just a display. There are too many people who smoke in internet cafes. People like me who do not smoke are forced to smoke second-hand smoke every day. Can I suggest that internet cafes really implement smoking bans? After reading this suggestion, Cao Xingyu was silent. This should be a girl. The signs of smoking ban in internet cafes are just decorations. This is a very common phenomenon in Sancha City. After all, except for internet cafes in some big cities that strictly enforce the requirements of smoking ban under the dual-pronged approach of high-pressure supervision and fines, other times, there are two lines basically, the city did not take this matter seriously. The main reason is that smoking people account for a large proportion of the guests of internet cafes. If you ban smoking and other internet cafes do not ban smoking, it is equivalent to pushing this part of the business to competitors. What's more, there are often competitors in the vicinity of every internet cafe. Although the ability of the internet cafe industry to make money is getting weaker, the competitive environment is still fierce. For those who don't smoke, second-hand smoke is indeed a very unpleasant and painful thing, but when you come to the internet cafe environment, you can only be forced to accept it, because every internet cafe is like this. Cao Xingyu, he pursed his lips. If I don't solve this problem, the satisfaction and experience of non-smokers in the internet cafes will definitely be greatly affected, which may cause the internet cafes to be unable to upgrade. Thinking of this, Cao Xingyu made a decision on everything that might affect the upgrade of the internet cafe. He typed, "Your opinion is very good. I will take your opinion on behalf of the internet cafe and implement it as soon as possible. The internet cafe is completely non-smoking. I hope you can have a better experience in this internet cafe in the future. You send this guest's reward red envelope." As soon as Cao Xingyu's remarks appeared, there was an uproar in the group. But different from the previous ones, this time there was a group of people who were excited and opposed. "What? Don't smoke. Don't make trouble, boss. The previous opinions are all good, this opinion is nothing but trouble. Don't smoke, what kind of internet do you still use? That's right, isn't this opinion nonsense? How can internet cafes not let you smoke? Which stupid is this little cute asterisk?" When Zhang Wentao, who was sitting in the internet cafe, saw this suggestion, he couldn't help but cursed and quickly typed out, "Boss, I advise you to think twice. If you are true enforcing a smoking ban, then I can guarantee that your internet cafe will lose more than half of the customers. And I, Zhang Wentao, will not go online, and I will quit the internet addiction, and it will never be possible not to smoke. Smoking is my second life. And you keep saying that you want to improve customer experience and satisfaction. If you don't allow smoking, for us smokers, what kind of experience is there? This kid is not bad." Because Zhang Wentao typed a lot, Cao Xingyu saw it at a glance, and he was immediately caught in a dilemma. One side is to consider the experience of non-smokers. Reading www.yuyugonshu.com also take into account the experience of the smokers. If it is not handled well, the upgrade of internet cafes will be indefinitely. Internet cafes don't let me smoke, what kind of situation can I accept? Cao Xingyu, who had also smoked, began to empathize. After a while, Cao Xingyu had a general idea in his mind. A quarter of an hour later, after Cao Xingyu looked at the paper in front of him, he nodded contentedly after he was filled with densely packed words. These opinions are probably in the early 20s, some of them are provided by the group, and some are extensions of Cao Xingyu's thoughts based on some opinions. It's enough for the time being, it should be only 3 or 4,000 yuan, this wave is very worthwhile. If he can implement everything written on the paper, he believes that customer experience and satisfaction will surely rise straight. Later, Cao Xingyu announced the end of the welfare activity in the group. There was a voice asking for continuation in the group, but Cao Xingyu did not pay attention to the group news anymore, but dialed Lu Ting's phone. "Manager Lu, are you still in the internet cafe?" Cao Xingyu asked directly after the call was connected. "Mr. Cao, I'm still in the internet cafe and just sent out the last welfare red envelope." Lu Ting replied. "Thanks for your hard work, wait for me, and I'll be there soon." Cao Xingyu replied, and then said in other words, I'm a little hungry after being busy, or go to the barbecue shop next to the internet cafe and wait for me. Okay. Hanging up, Cao Xingyu didn't delay, and went straight out the door with the paper he had just recorded. Now that there are all opinions, the next step is to implement them as soon as possible. Love Internet Cafe. At this moment, a strange scene appeared in the internet cafe. A group of young men gathered around the bar, yelling verbally, Sister Ting, what does your boss mean today? Is the internet cafe banning smoking? I can say in advance that if smoking is prohibited, I will never enter the door of your internet cafe again. Don't say that you can't enter your internet cafe. If it is banned, please return the money I recharged. I want me not to smoke, I tell you, forever. Far. No. Can. Yes. The one who said at the end the man was extremely emotional, and it was Zhang Wentao who had just made a clear-cut message against smoking ban in the group. I know everyone's opinion. I will tell our boss later. Lu Ting calmed down with a smile on her face and said, Don't worry, everyone. The ban on smoking is probably just because our boss didn't think about it and said it. If he knew the opinions of most of you, I believe our boss would not do that. After finally pacifying these people, Lu Ting couldn't help but sighed. She was a little bit frightened by the boss's operation today. Not only did she send thousands of red envelopes, she also offered suggestions for rewards. A dozen red envelopes worth 200 yuan were sent out. In the blink of an eye, it cost nearly 4,000 yuan in total. And what you get from spending this money is just some opinions. What a trouble! Besides, these opinions are all weird to death. What kind of toilet paper is required, the price of drinks is reduced, and there are no decorations in the store. Look, let's not talk about other things, which one of these will not increase the cost of internet cafes? Not to mention the increased cost, how can there be any practical significance? Really do it like this, so don't even talk about making money in internet cafes, it's a blessing if you don't lose money. What is the picture? With a mind full of questions, Lu Ting got up and walked out of the internet cafe to meet with Cao Xingyu. Not long, Cao Xingyu and Lu Ting met at the barbecue restaurant. After ordering, they found a seat by the window. Look at it first. Cao Xingyu took out the piece of paper he had written before, handed it to Lu Ting, and said lightly, These are the opinions I collected today. I want you to implement it as soon as possible. See if there are any problems, and if there are problems, bring them up, and I will try to solve them. Lu Ting nodded, stupefiedly reaching out and taking the paper that was handed over. No, Mr. Cao, this is not really going to implement the opinions in the group. If those opinions are true, how can internet cafes make money? Probably not. I should think too much. The boss is not here to do charity after taking over the internet cafe. Lu Ting, whose mental activity was abnormally active, turned her gaze to the paper. Mr. Cao, there is toilet paper in every toilet? Boss, you are not telling me the truth. I just finished reading the first article. Isn't this the opinion of the group today? Lu Ting immediately opened her eyes with a look of surprise. The trace of her luck just now disappeared in an instant. Is there anything wrong? Cao Xingyu picked up the teacup, took a sip, and said. It's not impossible. Lu Ting shook her head, I just don't think it is necessary. I don't want you to think, I want me to think. Cao Xingyu waved his hand, I think it is necessary, then it is necessary. But this cost will increase. Lu Ting insisted, although toilet paper does not cost much, it cannot withstand the frequent use of so many people, not to mention some people may waste it. Besides, this way, the packs of tissues sold in our internet cafes can't be sold. Originally, one pack can make more than a profit. Now it is necessary to give up real profits for the invisible and intangible customer experience. It's not worth it. User experience or something, I think you only need to give them a well-configured computer, and those guys will have fun playing. Don't care about these little money. CAO Xingyu curled his lips and resolutely said, do as I say. This is a small amount of money? Internet cafes are not a big business in the first place. Only by reducing costs can you get more profits. Lu Ting couldn't help but yelled in her heart. Okay. But Lu Ting is still very good at the basic sense of words and colors. She sees that Cao Xingyu's will has been resolved, and she no longer struggles with this issue. She can't help but jokingly said, would you like to provide it? A waiter washes his hands in the toilet, and he specially passes toilet paper to the person who washes his hands after going to the toilet. Does this make the experience higher? Said these remarks because Lu Ting had been cheered up by Cao Xingyu's series of operations today. She did not expect the new boss to pursue such an exaggerated customer experience in the store. Hey! After hearing this, Cao Xingyu on the side thought for a while, then nodded and said, your suggestion is pretty good. Plus, 2 more waiters are hired to serve at the toilet door. Well, by the way, clean the toilet at any time and keep it clean and tidy. Buy some more perfume and spray it frequently in the toilet to keep the toilet air fresh. Mr. Cao. Lu Ting was stunned. She never expected that her joke would not only be taken seriously by Cao Xingyu, but also artificial perfume. This is another expense. And it is a completely unnecessary expense. Have you ever seen any internet cafe with such a waiter? Your opinion is very good. The bonus for you will be doubled this month. Cao Xingyu didn't care about the other party's reaction, and asked faintly, any other comments? No. No more, pretty good. Unexpectedly, she unexpectedly doubled her bonus. Lu Ting swallowed, but she didn't dare to say anything anymore. Once I said something, I was associated with the boss. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com. What if the internet cafes are losing money and the responsibility for keeping the balance falls on you? Well, then you continue to read. If you have any comments on the items listed in it, you can mention it again. Cao Xingyu nodded and said that he was more and more satisfied with this manager Lu. Although he was a little too concerned about the cost, he couldn't say anything. What's wrong with her, considering the cost for the boss from her point of view, that's a matter of course, and see, at the moment, a casual sentence from the other party is a good opinion. It's a personal talent. Why didn't I think I could do this before? Okay. Lu Ting didn't know that she was labeled talent by Cao Xingyu. She just nodded dumbly. In fact, without Cao Xingyu's words, her gaze had begun to scan down one by one. She has been giving red envelopes to people in the group all night, and she has a little impression of the opinions in the group just now. And most of what is written on the paper is also what is said in the group tonight. Reduce the prices of beverages and snacks sold to customers in internet cafes and adjust them to be consistent with mass-selling snack shops in the market. Add decorations to the empty walls of internet cafes to improve the compelling style of internet cafes. Add a waiter in the gate of the internet cafe to shout welcome every day, mainly with a smile. Unify employee clothing, improve employees' basic literacy, and further enhance the speed of employees' response to services. Additional bonuses can be appropriately increased to encourage outstanding employees. Recruit a group of young part-time females who can play games to a company to play. The price of a company to play should not be too high, just keep it at the cost price. Reduce internet costs and hold long-term activities that cost 100 and get 200 free. Looking around, Lu Ting began to doubt her life a bit. Although I have witnessed the whole process of collecting opinions in the group, the more Lu Ting looked back, the more shocked. The price of beverages and food is reduced. This is not a question of making money. It is very likely that internet cafes will have to post some money in. Because internet cafes don't have a lot of goods, the price of goods is far cheaper than those chain snack shops. What else is there to continue to increase the bonuses for outstanding employees? There are also waiters shouting welcome at the gates of internet cafes. Ah, we are just an ordinary internet cafe. There is also that charge of 100 to get 200, the core network fee income of internet cafes has also been greatly compressed. Especially, girls are invited to accompany to play, so don't set the price too high. Boss, are you serious? Is this necessary? In short, if all of these are really implemented, how much money would have to be spent? Just for the illusory sense of experience and satisfaction? Mr. CAO, do you really want to implement these? Lu Ting opened her mouth and spit out a word with difficulty. Of course. CAO Xingyu said affirmatively. Okay. Lu Ting suddenly felt heartbroken and couldn't help but sigh in a low voice. How do I feel that I am not the director of an internet cafe, but like the director of a 5-star service establishment? 5-star. Yes, Manager Lu, your wording is quite precise. Lu Ting's voice was not loud, but CAO Xingyu heard it. He immediately nodded with a satisfied expression. Yes, you are absolutely fine. Build and operate our internet cafes according to a 5-star standard. Why didn't I think of the 5-star thing before? If I had thought of it earlier, just follow the 5-star standard to provide services. Then the experience and satisfaction must be leveraged, and the store will not be able to upgrade. Manager Lu is really reliable. CAO Xingyu thought secretly. A 5-star internet cafe. Lu Ting was speechless, and was stunned again. After a long while, Lu Ting regained her senses, looked at a piece of paper on the paper, and said, otherwise, if President CAO insists, I don't have any comments. It's just that smoking is prohibited in this internet cafe. Isn't it a bit abrupt? At present, most internet cafe customers are smokers. If these people are not allowed to smoke, the business of our internet cafes will plummet. Just now, some customers even said in our internet cafes that if they were to ban smoking, they would ask for their membership cards to be refunded. If they want to withdraw, then return. Then let's return the money to them. CAO Xingyu smiled and shook his head. However, in my opinion, the problem you are talking about does not exist at all. Let's not talk about other things. Yes, just the welfare of charging 100 to 200, how would those smokers choose? In addition, all aspects of our internet cafes services, environment, snack prices, compulsory standards, etc., have all been improved. What will they do? Choose? If it were you, would you choose to stay here or go to an internet cafe with more expensive internet access, worse environment and worse service? This, if it were me, I would choose our internet cafe. Lu Ting thought for a while and agreed. That's all right. CAO Xingyu snorted. Lu Ting pursed her lips and nodded, but she felt helpless in her heart, because even if the smokers can stay online, what can they do? These measures of internet cafes are implemented one by one. In the past, the profits of internet cafes of tens of thousands of dollars a month will no longer exist. And it is very likely that there will be a situation of making ends meet. You have to post money back every month. If this is the case, the new owner will buy this internet cafe. What is the picture? Is it possible to make a profit at a loss? Alas, Lu Ting sighed heavily and said, Mr. CAO, otherwise, I will first calculate the cost of the measures you mentioned in a preliminary period, and calculate the cost of each item first. See if the budget is in line with your intentions, and see if these budgets are within your acceptable range. Especially with this budget, we can also preliminarily infer the profit of the internet cafe if these measures are implemented. What's the deal? How much can it cost? CAO Xingyu pursed his lips, and said faintly, actually, as long as the guests can have fun, satisfied, and high experience in my internet cafe, then everything is fine. It doesn't matter if I don't make money. At the end, CAO Xingyu added faintly, moreover, I am not opening a store to make money. Not to make money. Lu Ting was stunned, a little lost. I don't open a store to make money. What is it for? Play? Experience life? Lu Ting doesn't believe in Cao Xingyu's words at all. How could there be someone who does this business? However, each of the measures to be implemented by the other party requires investment costs, and some of the costs are not low. It is really difficult for internet cafes to make a profit after calculation. Such facts are in front of him, and Lu Ting couldn't refute the sentence not for making money. Maybe this new boss still doesn't know much about the internet cafe industry? Don't know enough? Think of Cao Xingyu asking her about the basic situation of internet cafes during the day. Lu Ting thought of this possibility. Thinking of this, Lu Ting paused and said patiently, Mr. Cao, maybe you have just taken over the internet cafe, and you don't know much about the internet cafe industry. Would you like me to give you a detailed introduction to the profitability of our internet cafes? Model and profit core. No need. Cao Xingyu waved his hand, I know what you mean, don't worry, don't think too much, just do as I say, as long as you tell me what I have said. Do it well, I won't treat you badly. Then, okay. Lu Ting finally let go of the idea of continuing to persuade. Although she had only been in contact with the new boss for one day, she had seen it with the eyes of many people. She had already seen it. With the new boss's uncompromising, resolute, and vigorous character, looking at what the other party has done during the day and the things that are about to be done, it is already a shocking one. I reminded again and again that I have fulfilled my duty. Lu Ting sighed in her heart, this young man can buy this internet cafe, so he should have the strength, but that is its kind of, oh, it's not easy to comment. But maybe I'll be looking for a job again soon. Well, if you don't have any problems, then go ahead and implement it as soon as possible, and implement it immediately. Seeing Lu Ting's silence, Cao Xingyu waved his hand. Go now. Lu Ting stared at the barbecue that the waiter had just delivered, then Mr. Cao, you just ordered so many barbecues. I'm eating it. Cao Xingyu nodded and said in doubt, you don't think I ordered that order, it was the two of us who ate it. Go ahead, business matters, first finish what I said, and then you must eat it. That's a bit. That's dozens of skewers, can you eat so much by one person? Lu Ting shouted in her heart, but her body still stood up and nodded honestly, okay, I'll go and arrange it as soon as possible. These measures will be implemented. Well, let's go. Cao Xingyu nodded, feeling very happy. He had arranged the major event of store upgrades properly. After the effect afterwards, he began to feast on it.